17 of the charges Tsarnaev was convicted of today are punishable by death. The jury will hear evidence before deciding whether he should get the death penalty or spend the rest of his life in prison. 3 people were killed, 260 wounded when 2 bombs exploded near the Boston Marathon finish line in 2013. A 4th person was killed in a shootout after the bombing. Now, during the trial, prosecutors portrayed the attacks as retaliation against the U.S. for its wars in Muslim countries. Joining us now on the phone is Rick Matthews. He is the director, of course, of the National Center for Security and Preparedness. Hi, Rick, can you hear me?
I certainly can. I hear you well.
Excellent. Well, let me ask you, the bombing itself and now the trial has certainly sparked debate on this question. Is American intelligence, is Homeland Security prepared to deal with these lone wolf type of terrorists that we're seeing?
Well, I think they're about as prepared as we can be at this point. We continually change and evolve our ways of gathering information and sharing it. But it's very, very difficult because these lone wolves, by their very definition, tend to be working without the assistance of a lot of other organizational assets, which means there's usually less communications, less actions, less behavior that can be picked up on that would be normally considered to be suspicious. So I think we are getting better at that. I think it's a very, very difficult problem, though, and it's going to take quite a bit more work to resolve. But I think we're on the right track. It just goes back to simply with these guys, when people see something unusual, they need to say something, because generally the public's going to be the first ones to see something that would be suspicious, that might lead us to an individual that would be trying to do harm like this.
And because we are seeing more individuals, we hear about these, individuals or these groups of 2 or 3 joining up to become part of the Islamic State terror group. What should people look for? You just mentioned it. What should you be on the lookout for? What's the strange behavior?
Well, the main thing is it is basically simply that. It's unusual behavior where people begin to look suspicious. They seem to be taking pictures of wrong things. They tend to be acting very, very unusual from other folks, buying things that are kind of way out of place. Those kinds of actions would make one a bit suspicious. And basically at that point, they just need to, notify the Terrorism Watch Center, call the local police department and let them know. And that'll give them the opportunity to go through it more and dissect what the behavior is really going to mean something or not.
And just quickly, Rick, any fear of this verdict having any repercussions with other lone wolves or terror groups?
Well, I think there is always some apprehension that could happen. Anything where we punish or prosecute somebody who's been a terrorist, it always has that possibility. But I don't suspect it is going to cause a great deal of terrorist activity. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not.
And we hope you're not too. Thank you so much, Rick Matthews, National Terrorism Expert, for joining us here.